Welcome all to the Sunday program on the last Sunday program of May. And I, Prem Prakash Gaurdas, your servant, is again here to take you through the journey and spiritual experience. I hope you welcome all to the spiritual experience on this Sunday. Sorry, we had some technical problems to begin with, glitches. But to just continue, to get up and continue is a spirit that we all carry in Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much for joining again. Today we are going to begin with Prabhupada Aarti. We are already late for it, so we'll just go with that, and I'll keep on introducing the program as we approach it. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sachinandan Prabhu, you are ready? So we can proceed with that. Hare Krishna. And today Aarti is sung by yourself.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Banda Moi Savadana Mate Banda Moi Savadana Mate Yahara Prasade Bhai He Bhavatoriya Yahara Prasade Bhai He Bhavatoriya Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Arana Puriyo Mane Asha Arana Puriyo Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha चक्षुदानो दिलो ये जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदानो दिलो ये जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित हो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित हो प्रेम भक्ति आहा होइते अविद्या विनाशायते प्रेम भक्ति आहा होइते अविद्या विनाशायते वेद ज्ञान यहाँ रचरितो वेद ज्ञान यहाँ रचरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु वादमाचा नाराबंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु वादमाचा नागबंधु लोकनाथ लोकराजीवाना लोकनाथ लोकराजीवाना आहा प्रभु दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया देव ज्ञान श्रुति भुवना Tribhuvana, Dhulipadale Sharana, Shila Prabhupada Patita Pavana, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Satya Mataji, and thank you, Satya Diksha, so much for the wonderful Kirtan and Prabhupada Arti. Kirtan earlier and now Prabhupada Arti. For those who are not aware, they just have sang for Srila Prabhupada for his 125th anniversary. And Titisha just nailed it. She sang all the different tunes so well. And she's full of energy. She would dance for 30 minutes without any interruptions so well. I hope everything is well. You keep well. Thank you so much for singing Srila Prabhupada Arti.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And now we are going to, as we have done and taken blessings from Srila Prabhupada, we are going to hear a lecture from him. We all know that this is difficult time. We need to be very careful of the coronavirus and the pandemics that's going around the world. And let's see what Prabhupada has to say about quarantine. And if we are ready, so we are going to hear this lecture of Srila Prabhupada.
What is called the quarantine. Quarantine. Do you have somebody? How you can violate the nature's law? It is not possible. What is called the quarantine. Quarantine. Do you have somebody? How you can violate the nature's law? It is not possible. Nature's law is so strict. A little deviation will put you into suffering. This is going on. That is Yamana. And if you violate more and more and more, then you suffer more and more and more. This is the law. You cannot escape it. That is the general law everywhere, all over the world, life for life. So similarly, in the God's law, there is no such thing that if you kill a human being, he will be killed, and if you kill an animal, he will not be killed. That is the imperfect law, man-made law. You are maintaining so many slaughterhouses, and when it will be mature, there will be war, the wholesale murder. Finished. One atom bomb. Finished. You will have to suffer. Don't think that innocent animals, they cannot protest. Let us kill and eat. No, you will be also punished. Wait for accumulation of your sinful activity. Why do you think there is no punishment and there is no God? This is utopia. Don't think like that. Utopia. There is God, there is His government, there are His agents, there are witnesses, and otherwise why there are different varieties of life? Different varieties of life. Why? 8,400,000 species of life. Everyone is a living being. The trees are living beings, the fishes are living beings, and the ants are living beings, the mosquitoes are living beings, and the human being also living being, the demigod also living being, the cats, dogs, everyone is living being. So we should be very careful. This human form of life is a chance to make your choice. Whether you will go on being punished like this, or whether you shall go back to home, back to God. Here is the chance. You can imagine that there is no God, there is no Jamaraj, there is no punishment, let me do. That is your fancy. But it is not the fact. Fact is, if we commit some sin, we must suffer from it, and there is nobody in the world who can check it. Thank you very much. What is called that quarantine? Quarantine. You are suffering. How you can violate the nature's law? It is not possible. Nature's law is so strict. A little deviation will put you into suffering. This is going on. That is Yamana. And if you violate more and more and more, then you suffer more and more and more. This is the law. You cannot escape it. That is the general law everywhere, all over the world, life for life. So similarly, in the God's law, there is no such thing that if you kill a human being, he will be killed, and if you kill an animal, you will not be killed. That is imperfect law of man.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. That is really hard on us. It's time to reflect whether we are suffering due to nature is not being happy with us, or it's our karma paying us back. So nicely said, that if we see our family as a living being and our neighbors as non-living beings, government doesn't think that. Trouble to the neighbor is going to bring us equal crime that might be committed in the family. We need to be very careful. Here Prabhupada is very clear. Animals and other living beings are also living beings. And there are witnesses who are witnessing our actions. We have free will. And what free will do we have? Whether to be punished or to take shelter of Godhead. So we all are here, and I appreciate that we are going to take shelter of Krishna. Hare Krishna. And now to proceed with our next series of Sunday program, everyone's favorite, Kirtans. And to begin with the Kirtan, we are going to temple just right next to our beloved Sachinandana Chand, Jagnambal Devas Pudra Radha Madhav. And now Kirtan is sung by Sachinandan Prabhu. So Sachinandan Prabhu, if you are ready, so Hari Bol, we can proceed with the Kirtan. Hari Bol.
कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है। यशोदा जिनकी मैया है, नंद जी बपैया है, ऐसे श्री गोपाल को बारंबार प्रणाम है। यशोदा जिनकी मैया है, नंद जी बपैया है, ऐसे श्री गोपाल को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है। राधा जिनकी जाया है, अद्भुत जिनकी माया है, ऐसे श्री घनश्याम को बारंबार प्रणाम है। राधा जिनकी जाया है, अद्भुत जिनकी माया है, ऐसे श्री घनश्याम को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है। लूट लूट दाढ़ी माखन खायो, ग्वाल बाल संग धेनु चरायो, ऐसे श्री लीला धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है। लूट लूट दाढ़ी माखन खायो, ग्वाल बाल संग धेनु चरायो, ऐसे श्री लीला धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है। द्रुपद सुता की लाज बचायो, ग्राह से गज को फंद छुड़ायो, ऐसे श्री कृपा धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है। द्रुपद सुता की लाज बचायो, ग्राह से गज को फंद छुड़ायो, ऐसे श्री कृपा धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कुरु पांडव में युद्ध मचायो, अर्जुन को उपदेश सुनायो, ऐसे श्री दीननाथ को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कुरु पांडव में युद्ध मचायो, अर्जुन को उपदेश सुनायो, ऐसे श्री दीननाथ को बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका नाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है।
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful bhajan. It just melts our heart when we see Sachinandan Prabhu singing right in front of deities with so much devotion. Thank you so much, Sachinandan Prabhu. And now we are going to our next Kirtanya. And for that, we are going to Anil Prabhu. Anil Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can you start your video, Prabhuji?
Yep.
Hare Bol. Yes, so you should be able to start the video now.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anil Prabhu. I hope you are good. All
Yes,
set?
yes, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So please proceed with the arati.
श्री श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। साधम साधनम यश राधा, मंत्रो राधा, मंत्र जाति च राधा, सर्वम राधा, जीवनम यश राधा, राधा राधा पाचिकिंतिशेषम। किशोर कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोर कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए। जुप बाप राधा 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 नाम हो जाए, जुप बाप राधा 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 नाम हो जाए, जुस बाप राधा 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 नाम हो जाए, जुस बाप राधा 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 नाम हो जाए। किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए। श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे श्री राधे 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 राधे राधे श्री 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 राधे राधे श्री राधे श्री राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे श्री राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे। जब दे तिरवई मैंने तेरा नाम लिया है, जब दे तिरवई मैंने तेरा नाम लिया है, जब दे तिरवई मैंने तेरा नाम लिया है, जब तिरवई मैंने तेरा नाम लिया है। जब दे तिरवई मैंने तेरा नाम लिया है, जब तिरवई में मैंने तेरा नाम लिया है, जब दे नट दिया तूने मुझे सांभ लिया है, फिर ने नर दिया तूने मुझे सांभ लिया है। चोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, चोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, चोरी कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए। बाप राता 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 नाम हो जाए, तुझ बाप राता 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 नाम हो जाए, तुझ बाप राता 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 नाम हो जाए, तुझ बाप राता 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 नाम हो जाए। किशोर कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोर कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोर कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए, किशोर कुछ ऐसा इंतजाम हो जाए। श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे, 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 श्री राधे श्री राधे श्री 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 राधे श्री राधे, श्री राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे, राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे, श्री राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे, श्री राधे श्री राधे राधे श्री राधे। श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय, और प्रेमानंद हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Anil Prabhu. Thank you so much for such a wonderful Kirtan. I really appreciate it. You sang it with your heart. And now it's time for us to go to Madhura Mataji. So, and Ravi Tej Prabhu's house. I'll have to seek technical help from Dinesh Prabhu. Dinesh Prabhu, can you find Madhura Mataji in there?
The Prabhu is not logged in. Let me call
Okay. All right. So we'll come back to them if they have logged in. And now we'll go to Gurbani. If Gurbani, you are ready. Hari Bol.
Hey, boy.
Can you start your camera, Gurbani, if that's okay?
It says I can't start my camera.
Okay. Can you try now?
Hey, boy.
Hari Bol. Dandavat Pranam.
Vishvadaya Krishnamustaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine
शून्यवादी हर्षतादिशतारिणे Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Gurbani. That's wonderful. And now we have that's wonderful Kirtan, really, really sweet. And nowadays, as we all know, children of Coventry are doing really good, progressing in Krishna consciousness. And yourself have actually grown in this yatra. So, and you are inspiration for all the other children as well. Thank you so much for the beautiful Kirtan. Haribol. And now we are going to uh, Jai Krishna. I think he's really well ready for the Kirtans. Are you ready, Jai Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful. So please bless us. Haribol.
Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugala Kishora Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugala Kishora Jivan Marane Gati Arunahi Mora Jivane Marane Gati Arunahi Mora Kalendira Kule Keli कदम्बे रवाना चलतीरकुले केली कदम्बे रवाना रतन बेदीरा उतारा वो सब दूजाना रतन बेदीरा उतारा वो सब दूजाना राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा श्याम गौरिया दिबो चंदने रगंगा मगौरियंगे दिबो चंदने रगंगा चमर दुलाबो कबे कटंदा चमरा दुलाबो कबे तेरी मुकटंदा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा गदिया मला मला दिबो गले गतिया मला दिबो गले अगर तुलिया दिबो कर्पूरा तंबूले आदरे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूरा तंबूले राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा ललिता शाकादि जत सखी वृंदा ललिता विशाखादि जत सखी वृंदा अनाया छोरी मोटबा चरणारविंदा अनाया छोरी मोटबा चरणारविंदा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा युगला किशोरा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासरानुदासा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासरानुदासा सेवा दिलाशा करे नरोत्तम दासा सेवा विलासा करे नरोत्तम दासा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरम राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Jai Krishna. That was stunning and absolutely wonderful. You are now the star of the day. Haribol. It's not easy to remember Vaishnava Bhajan and to learn it, remember it, and sing it so beautiful. It's remarkable. It's more than remarkable. Thank you so much, Jai Krishna. All the wishes to you. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Thank you.
It is said that a dumb can become so much talkative. It's also said a lame can cross over mountains, and it is all possible just by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. We might be nothing, but it's important to know that when we are blessed and blessed with the mercy and the showers of blessings, there's nothing impossible in spreading the holy name. We are all mercy candidates. And why I'm saying so is that because the mercy is flowing, we are seeing everyone is progressing so well. And by the mercy of all Vaishnavas, Ishani Madhvi Devi Dasi and myself, Prem Prakash Kaurdas, were able to compile a little video for the protection. And this particular video is prayers to Lorna Simadev. So we are all going to watch it now. I hope you like it, and would request you all to whoever is watching to subscribe the channel and spread it, because you never know who needs these prayers. There might be problems running in a family, and they really need to listen to this prayer, have the mood of this prayer, and then sing this prayer. Haribol. So without wasting further time, we'll go and watch the video. Haribol. And as I'm going to play the video, I would really like to thank Jayarada Mataji for her birthday. Happy appearance day, and we'll come back to it again, the Aarti. Thank you.
जय नरसिंहा श्री नरसिंहा जय नरसिंहा श्री नरसिंहा एक आसरा तेरा। हे मेरे कृष्ण मुरारे, आन पड़ी विपदा भारी। सृष्टि की बात न मानी, सबने की है मन मानी। कोप फिर ऐसा छाया, उससे कोई बच ना पाया। तू ही एकमात्र सहारा, और ना कोई हमारा। डर को इस दिल से मिटा दो, आके हम सबको बचा लो। जय नरसिम्हा श्री नरसिम्हा, जय जय श्री नरसिम्हा। प्रहलादेश जय पद्मा, मुखा पद्मा भृंगा। जय नरसिम्हा श्री नरसिम्हा, जय जय श्री नरसिम्हा। प्रहलादेश जय पद्मा, मुखा पद्मा भृंगा। जय नरसिम्हा श्री नरसिम्हा, जय जय श्री नरसिम्हा। प्रहलादेश जय पद्मा, मुखा पद्मा भृंगा। हरि रूप था धारा, हिरण्यकशिपु को था मारा। विपदा फिर द्वार खड़ी है, हमको तेरी आस बड़ी है। जीवन की सांझ हुई है, अश्रों की धार बही है। हे मेरे नाथ दयालु, कुछ कीजिए कृपा कृपालु। जय जय नरसिम्हा स्वरूपा, तुझ पे विश्वास अटूटा। कर कमलों से हमें वर दो, नरसिम्हा कवच में भर लो। सुन लीजिए अर्ज हमारी, आए हम शरण तिहारी। काल का चक्र घुमा दो, सबको तुम भक्त बना दो। उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णु, ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं। नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं, मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णु, ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं। नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं, मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णु, ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं। नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं, मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. Welcome all again after watching this video. I hope you liked the video, and the video is still available online for you to watch. We will share the link in this YouTube link as well as in the chat, so you can all go and watch. Please like and subscribe and share it with all. Although the video is in Hindi, but it has got English subtitles so everyone can understand. Thank you. So now we are going to proceed with our next. Before we proceed with that, just I missed the chats, and there are a lot of appreciations coming for the Bal Gopal Club, Jack Krishna, and I guess Gurbani as well. Yes, so kudos to you all. Hare Krishna, a big Hari Bol. And now we are going for the next session, and that is lecture by Guru Sevak Prabhu. And as we go on, as Guru Sevak Prabhu is there, yes, he is there. So Hari Bol Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So you can start your video and Haribol. You can unmute yourself. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very impressive video, very impressive. Hands-on, fantastic, professional.
Thank you so much with all the blessings of all the Vaishnava senior devotees and Haridas Prabhuji especially for guiding us through for entire production process. And that was, it's not us who actually produced it, but it's a blessing that has produced it.
No, it's very nice, it's good. Well, in this time of lockdown, what else do we have time to do? Because you can't go to the temple, you can't do anything else. So this sort of media and stuff is a great way to actually get the preaching and get the message across. So very nice.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So we'll get on with the class. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande paramananda madhava Shri Guru Dinatarinam. So this week we missed out Jarada Madhav, but unfortunately as the time is running on, the class is, as it stands, only going to be 20 minutes. So I think we'll miss Jarada Madhav for this week. So the class today is going to be on Bhagavad-Gita chapter 12, verse 9. So if the technology team can get that on the screen, brilliant. Ciao. Okay. So we'll recite the verse. Atha chittam samadatum nashaknoshi me stidam abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchaptum dhananjaya. So the translation is, my dear Arjun, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada is saying in this verse, two different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. And the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. This is really important. If we look at this first paragraph of the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that there's two different processes here. So if you look at the actual verse before this, Lord Krishna actually said in the verse before this that just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So it's fixing your mind upon the Lord. Okay, so this is the key. So for that person who can always fix his mind and concentrate on the Lord 24 hours a day, that person is in the first class position. But how many of us are actually like that? Very, very few. For the vast majority of devotees, they don't fall into that category. That they're always thinking of the Lord, and they've actually developed an attachment for Lord Krishna out of transcendental love. This is very important. So each bit of this is important. They're thinking of the Lord all the time, and they've developed an attachment for the Lord, and it's out of transcendental love. Because you may say, okay, one example is the gopis were always thinking about Krishna. Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba were always thinking about Krishna. But then Kans was always thinking about Krishna too. So One, the gopis and Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mata, they were thinking about Krishna out of transcendental love. But Kans was thinking about Krishna out of absolute terror and fear. So it's just like Lord Nrsingadev's Leela recently. If we were walking down the street and all of a sudden you saw a lion coming towards you, okay, what would go through your mind? You'd be absolutely petrified. Whereas if you're the lion cub and you see a lion coming towards you and that happens to be your mother or father, you're not going to be scared at all. You're going to be thinking, oh, that's my mother, that's my father. They're here to protect me. So this is the difference between the devotee and that person that's not a devotee. When the person that isn't a devotee is thinking about the Lord all the time out of fear, he's not getting any happiness out of that. He's actually so afraid. So actually, another demon who was always thinking of the Lord was actually when Lord Ram shot Marichi with an arrow. This was originally when he went to protect Vishwamitra's Vishvashanti Yajna. Now, at this point in time, he kills Marichi and Subahu. So he killed Subahu with one arrow, and with the other, he actually shot that arrow, and it was blunt. It didn't have an end on it. And it went straight, and it said actually, it went into the heart, subtly, of Marichi, and it threw him all the way to Lanka. Now, the reason I say went into the heart is because from then on, Marichi saw, wow, this is one person who I'm such a great demon, but yet with one arrow, he threw me hundreds and hundreds of miles to Lanka. And he was petrified of Ram. Everywhere he would be thinking, oh, is that Lord Ram? Has Lord Ram come? Every time he hears, oh my God, it's Lord Ram, he's come to finish me off. And it said so much so that he couldn't even tolerate the actual letter R. If anyone started something, even if they said Ravan, as soon as he said Ra, he would think, Ram, is that Ram? Because he was so scared. This is not like Shabri, who's always looking, oh, when's my Ram coming, looking down the path, doing all the preparations for him. He's petrified. He doesn't want to see Ram. This is the difference. It's the same thing. They're always thinking about the Lord, but it's not favorable. And they're not getting actually any benefit from this. They're not getting any benefit from it because they're thinking of the Lord unfavorably. It said actually even Hiranyakashipu was benefited not because he had darshan of the Lord. He didn't get darshan of the Lord, because he was always thinking about the Lord as his enemy. The Lord's not inclined to appear before him just because he's thinking of him as an enemy. Actually, the reason the Lord appeared in front of Hiranyakashipu was always thinking about a pure devotee of the Lord. And that was Prahlad, his own son. Because he was always thinking about Prahlad, how am I going to get him? He's always meditating on him and getting whatever sangha that he managed to get out of Prahlad. That's how he actually got the darshan of the Lord. Because he's always thinking about the Lord's devotee. So the devotee of the Lord, if you associate with them, this sadhu son, even for a demon, this is why Narad Muni actually even visits the demons. It said that Narad Muni is so amazing. He's so amazing, actually, that the demigods and the demons both respect him equally. And that's an incredible feat for a person to be respected both by the demigods and the demons. And that's that person who actually is part of the demigods, one of the demigods. And it's so funny. I was speaking about Narad Muni. There was one situation where the demigods complained to Lord Vishnu. Oh, we've seen Narad Muni. He's staying with Kans for very long periods of time. And we saw him, Kans was pushing in front of him a wine glass. They didn't say that Narad Muni had the wine glass. They complained, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And they complained to Lord Vishnu. And when Lord Vishnu called for Narad Muni said, don't worry, Lord, it's no problem. I know the demigods have complained about me, but I have this competition with Kans. He's always trying to put the wine glass in my hand, and I'm always trying to put the mala in his hand. And I want to see which of us actually win. So this is the amazing thing about the actual sadhu song. This is where it's so important. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, which not a lot of us can, without deviation, It's not, oh, sometimes in the morning for 5 minutes when I'm doing my prayer, I think about the Lord. Great, I'm such a wonderful devotee. The other 23 hours and 55 minutes, I'm thinking of anything but the Lord. That's not a devotee. It's said, actually, this wonderful thing I've been thinking on recently, they said that when the flower gets pollinated, the bumblebee and the fly come to the actual flower and take the pollen from it. But the bumblebee will only sit on another flower. It's not going to go and sit on the garbage. Whereas the fly will sit on the flower, but also go and sit on the toilet, the drain, all of the unclean places. So the actual devotee is one who sits on that flower of bhakti to the Lord, but then doesn't go and sit on the toilet of sense gratification, on the dirty water of sense gratification. This is the difference. So we are trying to be a big bumblebee, not an actual fly that sometimes sits on devotion and then sometimes is doing sense gratification. So the entire process is to streamline you away from sense gratification. So it said here, this second process is there for that person who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. There are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually expands on this like quite a lot. And he actually says that the jiva's aversion to Bhagavan is the result of his desire for sense enjoyment. So the reason, because we want to enjoy our senses, but we want to enjoy them separate from Krishna. We don't want to enjoy them with Krishna. So this is not like, oh my God, I shouldn't want to do sense enjoyment. I shouldn't like to eat anything nice. No, you can eat something nice, as long as it's vegetarian, but offer it to the Lord first. Make that for the Lord and then honor it. So that's not sense enjoyment. That's actually bhakti. But if you're saying, oh, hold on, I want to eat something, but I don't want to offer it to the Lord. And I want to eat things that the Lord wouldn't want me to eat, like eating meat. You know, that is sense gratification. So the jiva's aversion to Bhagavan is the result of his desire for sense enjoyment away from the Lord. And he said, because of this, he's wandering all across the world in hopes of attaining happiness. Haven't we seen that with our own lives? We'll be doing so many things. Maybe this will make me happy. Maybe this will make me happy. Maybe this will make me happy. And it does for a very small amount of time, and then that's gone. And he's saying, as long as his desire for worldly happiness does not wane, an inclination to serve Bhagavan cannot possibly arise in it. So he's saying, as long as you still fully 100% desire for worldly happiness, you won't have any desire to serve the Lord. To give you an example, right now, everyone's restricted from sense gratification. You might think, well, hold on a second, we can still do everything in our hands. No. What it used to be like before COVID, no one is living that life right now. You can't go out to your gyms, to your cinemas, to restaurants, to see your friends, to see your family. Everything has been cut off. Okay, so you've been artificially restricted. Okay, so you can't do those things. Does it mean everyone's become a sadhu? What's the answer? Obviously no. Why? Because that desire is just as strong. In fact, it's even stronger. Someone that never even thought they would like to travel, all of a sudden now wants to travel. Let me see the world because I'm restricted from it. I'm stuck inside these walls. Someone that never really cared about going maybe to mix with his friends so much, saw them now and then, think, oh man, I'd love to go out and hang out with my friends. So just because you've artificially stopped it, the desire for it hasn't gone. You can see that now. As soon as the government stops the regulations on actually mixing or going to pubs and all that, literally the other day they slackened the rules where you can actually go to a pub. The pubs were full of people. Literally full to the brim. I drove past it and I saw there was even a little child dancing on top of one of the tables. Everyone was so happy. Oh my God, we can go to the pub again. And I'm like, it's the same beer you could have drank at home. But you can see that strong desire to enjoy the world is still there. So it doesn't mean just if you artificially restrict that. And the reason is Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that with the accumulation of abundant sukriti, the desire for worldly enjoyment slackens. This is the thing. It's about getting that spiritual merit. When you get enough of that spiritual merit, the desire to enjoy the world will slacken somewhat. And you'll think, you know what, actually, I think don't want to watch that much TV today. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Let me do something spiritual. And it's said that this is why this sukriti is so important. Because so many times we've gone and preached to people, we've used all our best arguments. I've done this so many times. When I was at Warwick University, I would preach to these students, and you would use every single logical argument, completely destroy any possible argument they could have. And after doing that, they run out of arguments, they got nothing left. You ask them, do you accept what we're telling you? And 9 times out of 10, the answer I got was, I'll have to think about it. I'm like, no, you can ask me another question. Challenge me with something. Show me your logic. Give me some argument which refutes it. Well, I can't do that, but I'm not going to accept what you're saying. And I remember one person specifically told me, everything you're saying is fine, but if I accept it, I have to change how I'm living. I have to change the things I'm doing. I'm not ready to do that yet. So it all boiled down to when the logical arguments all in their mind fail, the truth is that attachment to sense gratification is so strong, and they haven't built up enough sukriti yet to actually think, hold on, I'll reduce my sense gratification just a little bit. Maybe I'll do some devotion to the Lord. So that's sukriti. This is why you give people prasad, because that is big sukriti for them. Whenever you go to these programs, they'll say, please take prasad. Please take, we'd always give prasad, because they may or may not chant. We would do kirtan there at those functions as well. Not everyone would chant, but everyone wanted to eat. So that prasad is the secret weapon. They would eat that, think, oh, I'm eating food. No, you're eating the mercy of the Lord. And through that mercy, that will gradually build up that sukriti to the point where they feel, you know what? And it says that this desire for worldly enjoyment slackening, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, is the result of Bhagavan's gradual mercy upon that person. I had this personally, I was preaching to someone at the gym, complete materialist, 100%. He's Punjabi, but he's brought up like a Gora. And I remember he was suffering from anxiety. He would hate to go on planes and that kind of stuff. And in general, he was suffering from anxiety. So I told him, got this mantra you can chant, you know. It's really good. You're happy with the anxiety. So I gave him Maha Mantra. So he would chant it every day. He would chant it, and he managed to pass his driving test. He managed to go on a plane when he was struggling to do that. And one day he rang me and he goes, this mantra you gave me, he goes, what is it? And I goes, what do you mean? And he said, when I chant this, I don't feel like going out drinking. I don't feel like going out clubbing. He goes, why? What is it doing to me? I don't understand. He goes, I just don't feel like doing those things. And I just laughed and I said, no, just keep doing it. It's fine. It'll help you. And you can see this is what it is. His sukriti was building up. Even though he didn't understand what Mahamantra was, it was doing its work. And that's the same thing with us. We have to do that bhakti, build up that sukriti, and the Lord's verses there. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, it is then that the desire for sadhu sang, the association of saintly persons, arises within him naturally. So even as devotees, ask yourself, go back. This is number 1 button. Go back to this button. Say, do I actually have a desire for sadhu sang? Do I actually have a desire to listen to classes, to associate with other devotees? If the answer is no, that means that you are very much attached to sense gratification, completely. You're doing your sadhana and all that, that's great, but it's not having the effect. Because what kind of sadhana are you doing? Is that sadhana full of offenses? Is that sadhana doing your rounds inattentively? There's a really nice meme. One of the memes is because now people write comic strips. Devotees have started to write them. So there's one I saw which is really funny, and it shows someone there and saying, "Oh my God, I've done 16 rounds. And on the next thing he goes, I didn't even realize I was chanting. I didn't even realize I was chanting. I had the clicker in my hand. Oh my God, I've done 16 rounds. I wasn't even consciously doing it. I was just chanting. But you weren't really chanting. The clicker got to 16 rounds, but because it was all inattentive, that's the greatest offense. So you weren't doing any rounds. So it all boils down to that. It says Shraddha, says, or transcendental faith arises by discussing topics about Krishna in sadhu sang. This is how you get faith, by discussing these topics about Krishna. That's why the book club is so important. That's why the evenings when we go through and read things is so important. And he said, with the jiva's increasing effort to engage in the cultivation of activities related to Krishna, a greed to attain Bhagavan appears within him. This is a really important thing. This greed appears within you. The more you do spiritual activities, you get a greed. I want to achieve Krishna. I want to achieve him. Not I want stuff from him. I want him. That greed, once that starts to get there, then you desire to take a spiritual master. And he said that the process of sadhana, here Bhaktivinoda Thakur very nicely, the process of sadhana is nothing but the art of increasing one's thirst to attain Bhagavan. Your sadhana is there to increase that greed, to increase that thirst for Krishna. So you must ask yourself, are you even greedy for Krishna? Do you feel that hankering in your heart for Krishna? If you're not feeling that, it doesn't matter you're doing 100 rounds a day, you're not doing sadhana. You're not doing it properly. Now's the time to question that. Ask yourself this, do you feel in your heart, my God, I want to achieve Krishna, I really want it. If you don't feel like that, if that thirst isn't there, something is wrong. Even if you're initiated, even if it's been 20 years, even if you do so many rounds, sadhana and all that kind of stuff. That's what you need to ask yourself. And if that's missing, go back to the first button and put the first button on right. What is that first button? First button is, are you addicted to sense enjoyment, or are you doing things to achieve Krishna? This is a really important thing. It all goes back to that. And it said that this sadhu sang, Shraddha is developed from that sadhu sang. When you see other people doing amazing, it spurs you on. Like seeing Prem Prakash and Ishani Mataji's video and audio is so encouraging. And I thought, you know what, it's been so many years since we've put out a CD. Why don't we start working on something? So it encouraged me to, okay, I've got so many tracks that we've never released. Let's go there and polish them up. This is the thing. So it's not always that I need to go to the Himalayas and seek out some devotee to get inspired by. You can get inspired by each other, by each other's service to the Lord. This is the thing. It's all about serving the Lord, devotional service. So we're running out of time a little bit, but I'll end on, okay. So there's a bit here that I wanted to cover before we go. And it said that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says one thing about sadhana, and this is a really important bit. It said, the implication is that one must engage one's internal sense, the mind, in remembering and meditating on Sri Nam, on the Lord's holy name. This is what it is. This holy name of the Lord is said in here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said very nicely, don't think in Kali Yuga any other process other than chanting the holy name is going to deliver you. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said directly, it's not going to work. Because Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam kalau nasteva nasteva nastev gati ranyata. Holy name is the only way, only way, only way. Is that if you're doing the holy name, then you can start doing all the other things. You start doing all of those things properly. But don't think, well, I don't really do very many rounds, or I love Krishna, but I don't do any chanting. But let me do all these other things. No, it's not going to work, because this is the age for the holy name to work. And he said, you have to protect the holy name from the 4 anarthas, or impediments to spiritual progress. So these impediments are, number one, misconceptions about the reality, the Swarup Brahma, that is, misconceptions about reality. If you have them, that's gonna, if you misconception, oh, I'm this body, you know, I'm part of this family, I'm part of this country. You're not seeing your reality as an eternal spirit soul. Next, number two, hankering for temporary objects. That's called asat trishna, to hanker for temporary things. That's also one of the things Rupa Goswami said, that prayasascha, endeavoring really hard for temporary things, which are just a waste of time. Number three is weakness of the heart in adopting the process of bhakti. Hridaya dorbalya. So that means you know the process, you know everything, but you think, oh, I'm a bit lazy, I can't be bothered to do it, I'll do it tomorrow. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur even says here, sometimes one may think, let me do what is unfavorable for my sadhana today, and from tomorrow I will take special care to avoid this. I'm reading from Bhaktivinoda Thakur here. And he said, one who manifests such weakness of the heart, hridaya dorbalya, will never achieve auspiciousness. Never. We all do this. This is the reason I bring it up. Oh, you know what? I know I should do my reading today, but oh, I've been a bit busy today. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is that day which never comes, because that tomorrow, you'll think the same thing tomorrow, you'll think the same thing the next day. So, and the last thing is offenses, aparad. So I only knew about the aparad before. I didn't realize that other things were there. Misconceptions about reality, hankering for temporary objects, and weakness of the heart in adopting bhakti. And offenses is the last one. I'll be honest with you, most of us do all of these things at the same time and think, oh God, I don't feel any different as Krishna consciousness in so many years. Why am I not feeling any different? It's for doing all of these things. And the truth is, unless you actually read and associate with devotees, you're not going to know that you're even doing these things. And many times, my father will be speaking to me, sharing his realizations, and most of the stuff that I'm reading in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's stuff, he's already told me, not from reading, from having realized it. My father probably hasn't even read this, he doesn't even know it's there. But because of his progression, he's actually realized all of these things and is doing it. And when I'm reading it, I'm like, my father just told me that last week, you know? So this is where the sadhu sangha is so important. Their years and years of realization will actually crystallize to them doing the things that we're reading about. It's like saying, hey, go to the gym and lift 100 kilograms over your head. I can read about it, that sounds great. You go to the gym, 20 kilograms over your head is too much. Where's 100 kilograms going to come from? So for devotees, it's okay just to, oh, you know, I should be doing sadhana. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it in the future. Let me achieve this first. Let me get married first. Let me do this first. Let me do that first. So these are COVID times. Who knows who's going to be around for how long? You just don't know. So if there's any time was a time to get serious about sadhana, it's now. It really is now. And it all starts from the chanting. Increase that thirst for the Lord. When you're chanting, you should be thinking about the pastimes of the Lord. We've been reading so many pastimes now. Just pick one. I've been going through Das Avtar in my head every day when I'm chanting. I'll pick an Avtar, and then as I'm chanting, I'll go through and remember all the details that I remember about that as I'm going through. And it's wonderful. You get a different flavor of chanting every day because there's so many different avatars of the Lord. This is one of the things recommended to actually think about the Lord and have that hankering. We must be consciously doing it. Krishna, it's called Krishna consciousness, not Krishna unconsciousness. You're not supposed to just unconsciously doing so many rounds. Oh yeah, I'll tune in and do this. You know, you can't just casually do the process because it won't work. It will work a very small amount. It will work a very small amount. It's like saying if I open my mouth and I close my eyes and throw food at my face, a few bits might go in here and there, but most of it's going to go. You've seen kids eat. You've seen babies eat, and the food goes everywhere, or sometimes except for the mouth. So this is like what we're doing if we're not actually paying attention while we do our sadhana. So with this COVID times and not being cut off from devotees, realistically, all we have is our sadhana, what we've been given by our Guru Maharaj and by Srila Prabhupada. And this is where it's so important to do this. And I think as devotees, we need to talk to each other if people are having difficulty with their sadhana. If someone says, hey, my chanting is not doing so good, they should be free to say to someone devotee who they trust, reveal your mind, say, oh, I'm struggling with my chanting, how can I make it better? I'm struggling to read, how can I find time to do this? You know? And I think if we're there for each other like this, and like we're doing every day, we have these wonderful reading sessions where everyone tunes in. And I think we should have maybe a session where people can talk about sadhana and say what they're struggling with, or maybe what's really worked for them, and that can inspire others to do the same. Because we're here to help each other, you know, especially in this, like the COVID situation that we're in right now. This Sangha that we've got is really important. It really is. Devotees, the warning is not to isolate yourself. We've even given out free tablets to so many people so they can actually log in. And sadly, I can't think of anyone who actually has taken advantage of those tablets and is logging in. I said to Ranga, we've given away like 20 tablets. I haven't seen any of the people log in. Maybe they log into YouTube. I don't know. My mistake if it is. But it's like we're trying to give the actual process away there for people to get that association, because it's the most important thing in this time. So I think I've gone over time. So I'll end there. Thank you everyone for listening. Please forgive me for any offenses. And I think we've got our feet to go to. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Seva Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. And I would say it's simple, powerful, and having a lot of impact. Very easily coming across to all of us. And it's very instructive and inspiring. Thank you so much. Especially there's appreciation coming for Loin and Cup. We have given. That's really wonderful. And thank you so much. So I would like to invite now the temple, if we are ready. Obviously, we are ready for the Aarti. Hari Bol. So for the Aarti, we are going to Janki Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sachinandan Jayo Nitai Chandayo Sachinandan Jayo Nitai Chandayo Sachinandan Jayo Nitai Chandayo Sachinandan Jayo Nitai Chandayo Shiva Jayo Jayo Gora Chande Aroti Koshobha Jana Vigata Bani Jagamananoba Sakhi Ratna Simasane Aroti Kore Brahma Adi Devatane Narahari Adi Kore Shamaraya मधुर बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल कोटि चंद्रजीनी बदनुज्ज्वला गलदे सेवानमाला कोरे जगमाला शिवा शुकनारायण प्रेमे गरगारा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गोरार संपादा जयो गोरा चांदे आरोति तो शोभा जग मन लोभा गौरंगे आरती शोभा जग जन मन लोभा गौरंगे आरती शोभा जग जन मन लोभा जग जन मन लोभा जग जन मन लोभा नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल 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 सच्चिदानंद निताय चांद की जय।
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare जय राधा गोकुलानंद, राधा गोकुलानंद राधे, जय राधा गोकुलानंद, राधा गोकुलानंद राधे, जय राधा माधव, राधा माधव राधे, जय राधा रमण, राधा रमण राधे, जय राधा गिरिधारी, राधा गिरिधारी राधे, जय राधा मधुसूदन स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जयो जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण जय जय Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Damodar Prabhu, for such a wonderful, energetic.
Please, Premadhvani. You can do Premadhvani.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Damodar Prabhu, you can go with the Prem Dhwani. You can do that, please. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Are you doing?
No, Prabhuji. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to unmute you, so you can. No, you can do Prabhuji, please.
Okay. Jaya Vishwa Paramacharia Sasamati Vandes. Iskcon founder Jagat Guru Swrupad ki jai. BB founder Jagat Guru Swrupad ki jai. Sisi Radha Gokulandan ki jai. Sisi Radha Ramalal ki jai. Sisi Radha Vidya ki jai. Sisi Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai. Sisi Radha Madhav ki jai. Sisi Jagannath Subramanya ki jai. Sisi Nasir Bhagat Prahlad ji. Sisi Taram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. गंगा मैया जमुना मैया सरस्वती देवी की जय भक्ति देव महारानी की जय अयोध्यापुरी मायापुर जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय द्वारिकापुरी धाम की जय चक्र धाम की जय राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय नंदगांव बरसाना धाम की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नामचा हरिदास ठाकुर की जय भारत माता की जय गोलोक वृंदावन धाम की जय गौ माता की जय सिख गोस्वामी जी पंथ की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय Iskcon Coventry कीजिए, Iskcon worldwide कीजिए. All go to somebody Hare Krishna. All go to somebody Hare Krishna. All go to somebody Hare Krishna. All goes to Guru and Guranga. Namaskar. Krishna Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Damodar Prabhu. Thank you so much for the power-packed Aarti. We really enjoyed it to our fullest extent. We felt that we are in a temple. And thank you so much once again. Hare Bol. And it's so nice to see you after so long. Hare Krishna. And now, as we are approaching towards taking rest, but before that, we really need to pray very, very strongly for all the devotees across the world. And who else can protect us as the Lorna Simindeva? And just to mention off, we are praying, and I would request you to, I'll request you all to please pray for the following devotees. And today, we are praying for, His Holiness Chaprataka Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj, and His Holiness Purushottam Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. Also, all the other Iskcon leaders and gurus, and all those who are infected by COVID, or who were infected by COVID, to take care of them. The other devotees in Mayapur and Bharat generally, all the departed souls, His Grace Pankajangi Prabhu, Guru Mata Shanti Devi, Renuka Ji's Masi, Savita Ben, Mr. Abhi, Philip Ross, Chaitanya Priya's friend, Kamila, Haridas Prabhu's neighbor, Dinesh Prabhu's auntie, Gangaji, and other souls who are impacted at the moment with the COVID. His Grace Siddha Gopal Prabhu, His Grace Shesha Prabhu, Renuka Ji's Masa, Dilip Chandegra, Prem Mataji, Shraddha Mataji, Prem Mulin, Shalu Mehta, Raju and family, Rekha Ben, Savinia, Jayesh Prabhu, Chalapati Rao, Kameshwari Garu, Rita's brother, Mrs. Roy's son-in-law John, Nisha, Tanvi's mother Rajni Lal, all the victims of Bharat cyclone, Radha Rupa's sister-in-law and family, Dutta family, Aton Kundu, little Gaurangi, who fell down recently, and Janimai. And today, Nadama prayers are done by Jayarada Mataji. So Jayarada Mataji, I hope you are ready. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you unmute yourself and start your video, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you Mataji for joining in, and sorry missing you earlier. And before we proceed with the Aarti, with the all Coventry Yatra, we would like to wish you happy birthday to you, happy appearance day to you, happy appearance day to you, Jai Radhe Mataji. May Krishna always bless you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But now, you please seek blessings from Lord Narasimhadeva on behalf of all of us. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadayane Hiranyakashipurvakshaya Shilatanakalaye Ito nasingo parato nasingo Yato yamitato nasingo Pahir nasingo hridaye nasingo nara shringamadim sharanam prapade tava kara kamalavare nakhamadbhuta shringaya dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bhringa केशवधीर्ता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधीर्ता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरहरि जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Guru Maharaj Jaya, Guru Maharaj Jaya, Guru Maharaj Jaya, Guru Maharaj, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for such a soulful prayers to Lord Narasimhadeva.
Thank you,
It's just wonderful. And thank you so much for coming over here on your busy schedule on your birthday. But at least I believe that you're getting
Thank you.
to pray to Lord Narasimhadev. Thank you so much. I don't
Thank
have cake.
you.
I don't think so. But you are the person making cake, so you should be bringing cake for us.
You're all welcome to come and have some cake.
Don't tell us, we'll be there.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And thank you all for joining us tonight for this wonderful program. I truly enjoyed it. I'm sure you did as well. So now, as we are coming to the end of the program, I would like to take blessings, and I would like to inform everyone that the next Sunday is going to be Ekadashi before our program. So please be prepared for that, the Potato Day. Also, we have our reading starting from Monday, that's tomorrow. And I would like to request you all to please join us. Probably we'll be reading Ramayana. There's Sandhya Arti and Gaurav Arti every evening around 7:30. So please join us. And that's all we have for this week. Thank you so much for joining us and wish you well. See you next week. Hare Krishna.